I thought it was about time we had an update on how things are going in the White House studio. These are some things that have come from Astrid and Rabina. This works. Those things on that armchair don't work, so I'll have to throw them away. Off to the dump again. These are the bits of glass from the cold frame which come from Mummy, and I'm just assembling that in the garden. I've cleaned these ones and I'm just cleaning this one here. We tried doing it with the hose pipe in the garden, but I thought it was going to be better in here. I'll show you what's happening in the garden. Well, this is what the studio looks like now. Not that different really. Strange things on the workbench. Well, I did polish the brass yesterday, so that should be looking a bit more shiny. And Mia's bass amp outside in the hall at the moment. Here's the Dixon Treasure. And here's the Buddha which Darren gave me, which a friend of his made. Do you see it says Coca-Cola? And the bowl came from Mummy. And I've got some metal here from a sardine tin. Interesting logo. We've got 5 jewels on a crown with 7 pieces, and it's turning anti-clockwise. It's a nice piece of string. This is like a finger. And here we've got the 2 stones from London Road. It's not a happy situation. Books are just the same as Villain the cat. She's just the same, aren't you, Villain? You're not changing much now. You're a grown-up girl, aren't you? So let's go in the garden and we can have a look at what's happened to David's cassette tapes. You alright there, darling? Want to say hello to the video?
No.
How are you feeling today?
Oh, don't video me, could you?
Okay. Out in the garden you can see David's cassette tapes that all got wet. Because I've been storing things under a tarpaulin, but they were in a cardboard box that was totally sodden and rotten. I don't suppose the videos will play, and that's probably just as well. But I'm keeping them for David's sake. They've got some of his characters still in them. It's Mia's bass amp in the hall. So I've put them all out on the table to dry. It occurred to me they make quite a nice installation anyway. This is where they were. You can't smell this on the video, but it's absolutely stinky. That's what happens when you have slugs and snails and spiders all in rotting cardboard. But you see what I mean about it's got some of his character there, hasn't it? You know, the way he's labelled these. There you are, see what I mean? We've got Christmas decorations in here. But they're in plastic box, so they're okay. They're not going to rot in a plastic box. Most of the stuff out here is not important. We've got the vegetables growing nicely now. Villain still uses this as a toilet, so we've put these hoops in to try and protect things, but I think she's totally killed this one, because you know cats like to dig up the soil. We've got some runner beans here, and we've got some courgettes here and some tomatoes. This is a melon that's on its journey. There's some sweet corn, strawberries. But what I wanted to show you here is the cold frame. So these pieces of glass are going to go in here. It should look very nice when it's finished. And then under here is a place for all the slugs. We found a slow worm yesterday, and they can all go and live in here. There we go. They can all live in there happily. See anything? Did anything come out and say hello? At the end of the garden, I've taken down the Dusnbury sign, and I had a fire in a barbecue. We've got the rotten wood from the bed here. I burnt most of the rotten wood. Here's a nice assembly of stuff. Apple tree's got some apples now. There's a little angel. It's got some disease though, hasn't it? But there are some. Well, Lin Feng said there were some apples here. I don't know. Maybe it's too soon. Honeysuckle's looking happy. And here's the barbecue. So I had a good old fire burning up all the rotten wood here. And then Terry brought me this steel drum. This is where I had the Dusnbury sign. I collected up all of the plastic, you see. Part of it is flower pots, but part of it's just packaging from convenience food that I thought would make good palettes for painting. These I think are quite good for palettes. It's just terrible the way we live, the way we're destroying the planet every month, every week, every day. I mean, we can't go on like this, can we? I got a compost going on in here. There's various things crawling around in there. And this is my special place back here. In this bush there's some earth piled up with some slabs over it, which is where I put dead animals. If villain kills them or you find dead animals, I bury them there. But these slabs we've collected to lay down here as the base for a shed, like a 8-foot by 12-foot shed, which I'm going to really miss this area once it's just got a shed sitting in it. It's already turned into a bit of a glory hole, hasn't it? But this is a project to do. These are going to be wands. This is a little frame or something. These came from Shotley when I took Robina out to Shotley, where she used to live with my father. And there's some sort of kind of artist, and I found this on the beach. And this come from Mummy too. She's moved house about a month ago, so we've acquired lots of stuff from her. But it's a good, useful box to put the Jopalopas in. This is Terry's plum tree. That's Martina's garden. My old paints. Because they're oil paint, there will still be something useful somewhere deep inside. This is Gonga's rose bush. There's some fuchsia. Okay, coming, Danny. And I did have a whole load of stuff up until yesterday piled up next to Martina's wall. And there are also these stubs of these trees which I've dug out the roots. I like this, it's nice, isn't it? I could do some drawings using these roots and things. But here we've got the stakes. I think they're chestnut stakes, which come from Mummy and Tim. This we just bought in Aldi. Aluminium. These are Mummy and Tim's old skis. I have to get rid of them. But you see, Martina's wall is now totally free. And I've even dug out those tree stumps. That's her garden. This is actually a communal area which the council like us to keep clean. That's Terry's bins. And I've been dumping stuff here for years, so I finally cleared it up, so that's good, isn't it? Moved everything into my garden, and the wood that was stacked up here had loads of nails in it, so I spent most of yesterday pulling the nails out. I found a frog here which I took into the garden, gave him some water to play with. Piled up those stones in the corner. I'll have to get rid of the stakes soon. When we go vampire hunting, they could come in useful, couldn't they? And here we are, sneaking a peek at Martina's garden. That's her garden, and then she lives next door here. And I believe this bell was salvaged from Scapa Flow by my grandfather. And I think it comes off an old German warship. I polished this yesterday. Do you want to hear what it sounds like?